Former Groupon CEO Andrew Mason is out of a job, fired by the company's board last week after 4 years at the helm.
But it's how he left the Daily Deal company that's got people taking notice. Jenna is back with more on that.
Yeah, so here's the deal, Esther. 32-year-old Mason was never like most chief executives, and neither was the severance package from Groupon.
You're fired.
They're the two words that no one likes to hear. Unless, of course, you're a CEO of a major company. Then getting fired could be the best thing that ever happened to you or your bank account.
When CEOs leave a company, they usually leave their company a lot more wealthy than they first started.
Take a look at some of America's biggest so-called golden parachutes, the big-time payouts executives receive when let go from a major corporation, which is why the latest CEO firing was so shocking. Groupon CEO Andrew Mason is walking away with a retirement package of $378. Oh, and 36 cents. Some are calling it a lead parachute.
When Groupon went IPO, Andrew sold a bunch of his stock, which gave him about $20 million. He's also sitting on a couple million shares, equating to $213 million in value. And when he left Groupon, the stock price went up. Sitting pretty, that parachute is definitely not lead.
All right, so we don't feel that bad for Mason, especially since he wrote what many consider to be the best corporate goodbye letter of all time. After 4.5 intense and wonderful years as CEO of Groupon, I've decided that I'd like to spend more time with my family. Just kidding, I was fired today. It continues in a surprisingly candid manner. If you're wondering why you haven't been paying attention, from controversial metrics to 2 quarters of missing our own expectations and a stock price that's hovering around 1/4 of our listing price, the events of the last 1.5 years speak for themselves. As CEO, I'm accountable.
This guy is really taking accountability for it, and it's a little refreshing to see, given that so many CEOs pass the buck.
So while we all know what they say on Wall Street,
greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
In this case, honesty might be the best policy.
Mason also told employees not to be concerned about him, that he's, quote, okay with having failed at this part of the journey. Part of that could be the $20 million he's sitting on, or the hundreds of millions.
It's not bad when you have a cushion like that.
A little bit, yeah.
It makes it a little easier.
It's a lot easier to tweet whatever you want to tweet.
I love his goodbye. They always